Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful Fibercast. Today's date is January 17th, 2020. My name is Lynn Marquidon, and I'm your host. And it's Friday at about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, and I'm here. So I hope you're here too. Thanks in advance for joining, and let's get to it. Today, I'm going to show you some quilt finishes from here in the Simply Colorful studio, and we're going to work on our Dear Jane block called Family Album I-3. So grab your project and let's see what we can accomplish together in just 60 minutes. Excuse me. So this is not a tutorial, as everyone knows. This is just a way for us to get together and play with our fabric. First off, why don't I just show you what we finished here in the studio. First off is a t-shirt quilt made for a son who his name is Jordan, and he is a freshman at Cornell, and his mother before Christmas brought all of these different t-shirts and asked me to make a t-shirt quilt, which I have done and will deliver tomorrow morning. So I'll post a full picture, but it feels really good to have it done. And I used a Bauhaus, B-A-U-H-A-U-S, quilting pattern on it, and it worked out really well. It looks masculine and clean, and the red pops of color, I think, work here. So that was the first finish, and that was, and thank you to Joyce. If Joyce is out there, thanks to Joyce for help with laying it out on Tuesday at our open sew. And this is the other one. This is one you saw before it was quilted. This is Becca Clash's Catnip. I think it's called Catnip Meadow. And she wanted some custom quilting, so we did that. And I don't know how much you can see, but it has some butterflies. We outlined the cat, and we did some crosshatch down here, and I think it works. It's a beautiful quilt, and we didn't want the quilting to take away from the beautiful image. So that's the second one. Oh, and this is really cool. She always pieces her back. Isn't that neat? So that's the second finish. Now, let's get into Dear Jane. What you see here is what I have 3 rows down. So there are 3 more rows up above that I've already done that are downstairs waiting on some finished work. So I did make some progress on A, B, C, D, E, F row. And now I'm kind of filling in. And I thought, again, we would do I-3 Family Album with this pretty blue pastel, and of course our off-white. And I'll show you Jane's version, GHI. It's called Family Album, and it looks like a tic-tac-toe. See that right there? Ours is going to be less dramatic than that because of the lightness of the blue, but that'll work. And let's see, I have our iron all set. Hey, hi everyone. Hi, Linda. Hi, KB. Hi, Diana. Do I have that right? Thanks everyone for joining. I hope you've had a good week. Post anything you're working on the Simply Colorful Mystery Quilt Along Facebook page. I have a second one of these ready to go too, if we have time, which we might. We're cranking on these. I'm so happy to see Sue Norton is getting into drawing. She's very good. And that means that she's spending less time on her Dear Jane, although she's already won. She's basically finished all of her center blocks, and now she's just doing her edge triangles. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. What a week. The good news is, oh, I forgot to change my thread. The good news is that the hours for my package moving job are being cut back. Hi, Carol Bell. Hi, Maggie. From up in New Hampshire. Hi, Pat. My dear Jane hero. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. Okay, let's get some off white back in here. It will come back to me, you know. Whatever I was saying. Oh, I was talking about the hours at work. So I've been getting out at about 11:30 the last couple of days. And I love it. And I was going in, I don't know if I told everyone this, but before the holiday, they offered some of us the opportunity to come in half an hour early. So at 6:15 instead of 6:45 and put bags into the racks. And I figured, heck, what's the difference between 6:15 and 6:45? So I did that. And it was great. But now because the volume is less and the night crew will do some of the bags, they don't want us doing that anymore. So I start at 6:45 now instead of 6:15. And then they let us, we've been finishing up the run. I think today we had 25,000 packages. And we sorted them. We were done by 10. Then we picked and staged them, and we were done by 11:30. The warehouse is quiet because the vans there aren't as many vans coming in. It's just delightful. I have an errant piece of, oh, I see what happened. Never mind. Piece of thread. Okay, my machine should be pretty darn clean. I'm going to put on my single point. Not my 0 millimeter. So to get more traction. My 0 millimeter thread plate. Okay, so that's that. And this is, I'm going to use 39D so I can see it. I've got it down to 1.7, my stitch length. And now let's just follow the numbers. Oh, these are the two end ones. So I've had time to work on these other quilts, which has been good. I'm delivering the t-shirt quilt tomorrow at 10. And then I have several new ones that have come in. One from Katie, two from Becky, the 5 from Delaware. So thank you all for continuing to trust your quilt to Simply Colorful. Ooh, that was kind of fast. Okay. Finger press it. Oh, and I saw, was it Carol's Frolic block? Those are looking good. How fun is that? I was thinking it's about time to do another mystery quilt here in the Simply Colorful studio, and I was giggling to myself thinking about themes. And I was trying to think of something that would rhyme with the name Frolic, because I think that's a good, catchy name for a mystery quilt. And all I could come up with was Colic. I don't think that would be a good name for a mystery quilt. But I made myself laugh. So, who else is out there? Maggie. Oh, she's in Maine visiting her daughter and family, and it's freezing up here. Oh, I bet it is. Oh. Oh. Get ready. I think it's going to get a little bit colder before it gets warmer. Oh, I'm glad you're up there. This block should not take long. Talk to my mother today. Mom, if you're out there, hello. Mom is my inspiration. She's always out and about. Today, she cut down a holly tree that was too close to the house. It's getting too big. In this weather. Let's see, what else is going on? Well, we of course are making history here in the Americas with a motion to impeach our president, which no matter what your leaning or affiliation or desire, it's not good. The one thing, and I love this machine, but oh, you know what I was just about to say? I was going to say that it's a little wobbly, and I realized I didn't have my upper walking foot down, and that's why. I need my top tension too. Okay, let's see if that's better. This machine can do anything, and boy, was I glad to have it. I'll show you when I worked on this t-shirt quilt. There were a couple of things that I needed to put on, like this letter. Oops. This letter from his high school. I did a buttonhole stitch all the way around it, and it was thick, and it went beautifully. And then there was a patch here, this patch. I also did a buttonhole stitch around it with this machine, and it worked beautifully. I was very pleased. Okay, we're getting there. Pretty soon you're going to see the tic-tac-toe board come to life. I can't wait for our retreat. starts next Thursday in Bolton. I can't wait. Let me make sure that's on. Okay, so we have those 3 pieces. And then this middle piece, now I have to do 2 white strips across. There's one. Hold that back. Just that. Put this other one on. And there we go. Okay. So I'll give these a good iron before I cut them. This one let me just trim off and then we'll iron it. That's important to do because you get rid of some bulk. Okay, so now we have our 3 pieces. Let's cut them to size. There's one. I'm so committed to getting this Dear Jane done in 2020 that as much as I want to venture into my doll kits, my sister gave me a wonderful doll making kit. I think I mentioned it. It's been 2 years at least now. And I've watched the DVD and I have all the materials and I just need, I want to just start it. But I'm going to wait until this Dear Jane is done. Okay? So there we go. Just going to do these 2. Then we do a blue all the way around it. Put this all on the floor. A blue border. This one on the other. Aww. Oh, I know what else happened this week. The Oscar nominations occurred, and there's so many, as always. So many movies I want to see. Have you all seen them? KB, I'm curious how Little Women was, if you liked it. So now I'm just going to sew this all the way around. I want to see the Joker. I hear that's really dark. I want to see Judy, about Judy Garland. I want to see The Irishman. I want to see Made in Hollywood. See what I mean? What else? Hi, Mom. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, I love this iron for this. I'm going to bring this iron, all of this with me right to the retreat. The retreat starts on Thursday night, or Thursday day. So what I'm planning to do is I'll go there right after work. Hopefully I'll get out around 11:30. Actually, I'll go home and take a shower. So I'll get there on Thursday afternoon. We'll sew. I'll sew with everyone that day. And then Friday, I'll sleep there. And then Friday, so I'll trim this up. So there we go. There's one. Let's pull out another one. That's I-3. I have another one here. I-7, Mac and Muff. So my plan is on next Friday is I will get up early and leave the retreat and go to work, which is right down the road. And then be back again midday. Okay, there it is. I-7, Mac and Muff. Ooh, it has a little bit of hand applique too. So I don't know if you can see that. I-7, Mac and Muff. Put that in there. This is a pretty green. So the Oscars have been announced. Let's see what else happened this week. It was 70 degrees here last Saturday, and now it's going down into the teens. As Maggie, you just heard from Maggie up in Maine. It's crazy. Okay. Oh, now we need our white. Okay, there's our white. White on either side. There we go. All right. The good news is that I and J are my smallest rows, or the rows that need the most blocks remaining. Once you get down to K, L, and M, I'm pretty much done. So let me show you something. Remember this? So we're working right in here, but most of these are done and most of these are done. So, wow, Mom says it's already 19. Hi, Cherish. Hi, Dawn. Oh, binding a wall hanging. That's great. I'm so glad you're out there. Oh, if anyone is now near and around Hopkinton, the Marathon Quilters are doing an open sew at the Hopkinton Library on February 8th, I think 8th. And I know that we would love to see anyone come and play with us. It's really all about sharing the love of sewing and inspiring, excuse me, others to give it a try. In fact, I know what I haven't told everyone about. So remember last week, or I don't know if I told you this, but I don't think I did. Or maybe I said I was going. So last Sunday I went and watched a cousin or a niece play hockey. Allie. Actually, for those of you who are out there, it's Allie who has been on this show in the summer. She made, I think the last time she was on, we made scrunchies for our hair, and it was really hot. It's always hot in the summer, isn't it? Anyway, I went to see her, and she's all excited. She wants a sewing machine. So I watched her play hockey. She's a great skater. And we chatted about sewing machines, and her mother approved it. So I said I would look for a good sewing machine for her. And I've been thinking about this for a while. I may have even mentioned it. And she's been sewing on my brother sewing machine that I have at Mom's house in the summers. A very basic, it is computerized, but and it has a couple of different feet, but it's nothing fancy. And she's done great on that. So that is a possibility. That said, I'm just telling you my thought process around sewing machines, and then I'm going to tell you what I bought at the beginning of the week and why. Okay? So, Mom, you better be sitting down. Anyway, and yes, I do have a problem. I know that. So, I get home from the hockey game on Sunday, and of course, I pretty much immediately, I go and sit down and watch the football game with Bob, and I pull up my iPad and I go start searching for what brother sewing machines are for sale online. And then I think and then I think, well, my sister loves her Janome, and I've heard nothing but good things about Janomes. And I've always wanted one. And every time I've sewn on one, I've thought to myself, this is a nice machine. So I started to look at Janomes. And then I couldn't decide. And Amazon had all sorts of different ones, starting with a little different colored ones for $58 that were tiny for beginner sewers. And that certainly was in the running. And then there were some others that were computerized. Anyway, one thing led to another. I couldn't decide what to do. And then I realized, so this was Sunday. I realized, Joann Fabrics is open. And I noticed last time I was in there, not only do they have a bigger selection of singers, but they also have a couple of Janome, including that little one, and then another computerized one. So long story short, I drive over there. Sure enough, the computerized Janome was on sale from $299 to $199. And I thought it was still a little more than I wanted to spend, but it was right there. And so I bought it, and I brought it right home, and I plugged it right in. I undid the box thinking, okay, I want to check this out. Oh, in the back of my mind also, I'm thinking about my retreats. And I think I had mentioned I didn't know what machines I would bring. And by the way, Jean, since hearing me on Fibercast last week talk about that, she offered me her featherweight. I could borrow that at the retreat. So that is an option. But again, I've always wanted a Janome. And so here was a Janome. And so that's in the back of my mind thinking, well, I'm going to buy this Janome, and maybe it'll work for the retreat. Maybe it'll work for Allie. Who knows? So I buy this Janome. I bring it home. I open it up. It purrs. Sews beautifully. It's got 5 feed dogs underneath it. 5 different bars here, whereas this one only has 3 and then an upper one. And it grabs onto your fabric and just sews beautifully. So I'm sold on the Janome, right? And then I think, I know. It doesn't have a nice place to hold your feet. You have to kind of put it in, and it doesn't have an extended table. It doesn't. So I start to, after I test the stitch, then I think of all these extras. Of course, it doesn't have a thread cutter. It doesn't have see how my foot went up and down automatically. What else doesn't it have? So I think to myself, okay, well, I'll think on it. I'll sleep on it. No, I think maybe I didn't even sleep on it. So they went back online. So I thought, well, let's see what else is out there. One thing led to another. I ended up buying a more expensive computerized Janome from Amazon, and it was going to get delivered on, is that right? On Monday. So I must have ordered it back when I got back from Joann's. This one did have an automatic threader. It had an automatic cutter. It had a nice place for all of your feet. Didn't have the up and down here. It could sew 880 stitches a minute, which is pretty fast. Jukies are up to 1,000. I think this one can do 1,200 or 1,100. And that might be exaggerating a little bit. Anyway, I ordered a second machine. I wake up. So I get up. I go to work the next day on Monday. Really, this story is almost over. And Mom, you're going to pick yourself up off the floor, I promise. So Monday I go to work. I come home. No sewing machine delivered. Now, again, it's supposed to arrive Monday. And I haven't told Bob any of this. I go through my afternoon. I probably worked on that quilt. I did whatever I do. I go to bed. I peek out the door. Still no machine. And I think to myself, and now I'm getting buyer's remorse. Uh-oh, what have I done? That's a lot of packages. A a machine that costs that much. What did I do? I shouldn't have done that. I didn't need it. This is an omen. The fact that it's not here means it's really, I shouldn't have gotten it. And I'm going to return it, I think, to myself. Sure enough, when I get up the next morning at 6 and leave, go out the front door, I kid you not, I almost tripped over it. I opened the door, and there on the ground is this beautiful machine in the box. Well, at that point, of course, I've slept on it, and I've told myself, you didn't need this machine, you're returning it. So I put it in my car, and I head to another day of work. So this is only Tuesday. I was sitting in a cold ice rink, not 48 hours ago, and now I have 2 new machines because my niece needs a machine, right? So I go to work, they let me out early, and I still decided I'm taking it home. Anyway, long story that I made ridiculously long is, oh, I know what I did. So they let me out really early that day. And I remembered that Kohl's takes Amazon returns. So I go into Kohl's and they say, well, you have to go onto your Amazon phone, onto your phone and look at Amazon and say return. Of course, I tried to do it here and I forgot my password, which I always do. Ask anyone. I think maybe that's my secret to success. I never remember my password, so I'm always changing them. So the hackers never get them. So I couldn't do it here because they wanted to know the last 4 digits of the expiration date of a credit card that I no longer use, just to verify that it was me. And I didn't have that, and I couldn't answer that. So I had to come home, had to go on my big PC, got in, hit return. It couldn't have been easier. But here's the catch. And they told me this at Kohl's. She was very helpful at Kohl's. She said, depending on the seller, they'll have different, I forgot a piece. They'll have different return policies and methods. And this particular seller, which was from down in Rhode Island, sewing machine reseller, required that I use UPS. And honestly, it was so easy. What you do is you go on, you say, I want to return it. I want my money refunded on my credit card. Or, of course, Amazon says you can put it in the Amazon bank to use. So I have it refunded to my credit card. And they say, we're going to send you a code. No need to print out a shipping label. Just take it to the nearest UPS store. They'll print out your shipping label. They'll take your product, and you won't pay a thing. And sure enough, I brought it to Milford. I brought my phone in with the QR code. They printed out the label, and they said, thank you very much. I feel bad because I think the supplier probably has to pick up that shipping charge. So I do feel bad, and it's not a practice I want to do very often. But for all of you who are worried that I did not need a 12th sewing machine, I returned it. And now I'm looking at another one online that looks even better. I hope those are the right. Oh, that was the wrong fabric. So I think, and stay tuned for the continuing saga of my travel retreat machine. I think I'm going to bring that original Janome that I bought at Joann's last Sunday night. It's a C30. I think I'm going to bring that to the retreat next week. Now, Joyce, when I saw her Tuesday, she said, well, you just got this fancy machine. Why aren't you bringing that? And I said, it's too heavy. She said, with the packages you're moving, it's too heavy. And she had a good point. But really, the reason I don't want to bring it is it's just so delicate. I don't want to jostle it around the computer. And I do know I have a problem. And if anyone knows of a 12-step program for sewers, let me know. This made me laugh. I came in the door the other day and I thought, how many sewing machines do I have downstairs? And I looked to my left. I had two Japanese made in the 50s sewing machines downstairs in the hallway. I have the new Janome C30 in a box there. That's 3. I have the Kenmore that came from Aunt Dutchie in a big case. So that's 4 before you even get in through the front lobby. Then I have a Singer that came from my cousin Heidi right outside the bathroom. Then if you go into the living room, I have Maxine Singer 99. And then I have a free sewing machine that's a treadle that my parents gave me. I have 7 sewing machines just on the first floor. I don't sew down there. And I have 7 sewing machines down there. Now, I did tell Bob, my plan is to get rid of, see how I'm having heart palpitations when I say get rid of sewing machines. But I am, if anyone wants the Kenmore, it's in a nice case. It's old. When I say old, it's probably from the 60s or 70s. And I'm going to get rid of the 2 Japanese Toyota-like machines. One of them, the timing on that Morse, I could never fix. And then that doesn't look right. Oh, there we go. Getting there. See that? So to sew that together. I'm going to look one more time though. This is HI7. Mac and Muff. Yep. Okay. I'm going to keep Maxine Singer. That sews beautifully, and it's serving as a nice end table to our sofa. I'm going to keep the free because it's in a beautiful oak case. The free has one of those, has the thin bobbins. And I never did get a treadle rope or treadle rubber. So it's not working, but I love it. And then the Janome C30 that I just bought, either I'm going to keep for the retreat, or more than likely, that is one that I will bring up to Allie. Within the next few weeks. Her birthday's March 1st. So the goal is to get up there before then. Do you believe this? We're almost done block number 2. Oh, I already cut that. I-7, Mac and Muff. So we have to think about what we're going to write in our diary about these blocks. It's cold. Oh, hey, Linda. Linda Grant. So nice to see you out there. My plan with those, if anyone wants them and anyone's nearby, let me know. You can come get them. My plan is, if no one wants them, that I will bring the 2 Japanese machines as well as the Kenmore machine to our quilt show in the fall, to our boutique, and sell it there. Okay, and that I will square up. And then it has, I need to put little triangles appliqued in each of those. And they're isosceles triangles. Sometimes I can't believe I can remember these things. I can't remember what I had for lunch, but I can remember an isosceles triangle. Isn't an isosceles triangle where it has the two sides are equal? Okay. So there we go. I'll applique those on. Oh, and I think they went the other way. GHI. Yeah, they go the other way. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining me. I think what I'm going to do is just make some notes here in our books about what we did tonight. We did I-3, I-7, and we showed 2 quilts that we finished today here in the studio. T-shirt quilt for Jordan and Becca's catnip meadow quilt. I'm showing it again for those of you who were late. Did you know the analytics, what few of them I see, really? I haven't looked at them closely, but I plan to, is the average watch time for Fibercast is 14 minutes. So I wonder which 14 minutes that is. I think what happens is people come in, they see what we're working on, and that's that. Okay, so let's just write something. I-7, today's date is 1/17/20, made on Fibercast. Let's see. Cold out. I have to write this. Historic week in Washington, D.C. What is it? Articles of impeachment? Is that what they say? Went from House to Senate for next step. And the justice presiding, and they swore in the senators. Okay, so what else do we want to say? Cold outside. Excited for next week's retreat in Bolton. And February 8th, open sew at Hopkinton Public Library. So again, if anyone's in the neighborhood, please do stop by. Come sew with us. And then let's just do I-3 family album, 1/17/20, made on Fibercast, with I-7 also. Fun, easy block. And I think that's that. Once again, I'm astounded that you're out there. I'm thrilled. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope that you have accomplished something, even if it's just relaxing and taking time for yourself, because remember, the key is to do something you love. So take time for yourself. And I think that's about it. Just keep working away. Winter is when we can get things done. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. If you would like a $20 off coupon, mention that you heard me on January 17th on Fibercast offer that. And just send me your quilt or drop it off and say, I heard you offered $20 off. on the January 17th Fibercast, and I will give you $20 off your quilting job. So there's some incentive. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Maybe Friday night, maybe Saturday, maybe Thursday. We're playing it a little bit more by ear. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.